So macam contoh macam doktor ada mention pasal endometriosis and also PMOS. Okay. What is the early symptoms? Okay, yang you kena betul-betul tengok, betul-betul notice, okay, in order untuk like prevent benda tu jadi lagi teruk.
Okay. Like how
macam
you
guideline lah.
understand. Okay, see in diabetes kan, sebelum ni kita cakap kan, dia silent killer.
Yes.
Tak jadi, tak nampak apa pun sampai dah too late. Even kidney failure or CKD, orang yang ada diabetes, gula tinggi 20, tapi dia rasa okay je. Okay? When it comes to women health, PCOS, endometriosis, nothing is silent about it. It is as loud as it can get. Orang tu dah sakit, dah tengah on the floor. Terbaring dah. Dia tengah sakit macam tu. Kalau dengan tu pun you nak tolak. There's nothing silent tau. Bukan PCOS ni silent. Tak. Hair drop, hair fall kan, banyak. Pimples, hormon dah teruk.
Your body scream.
Your body is screaming for help. Every month you bleed. I have met patients dia punya anemia level. Anemia maksudnya setiap orang kan ada darah merah.
Yes.
Darah merah at least 13, 14. Okay, for women good health kan. 7, 6 sebab setiap bulan pendarahan terlalu banyak. You cannot even stand straight without feeling dizziness. Kalau kita punya anemia low macam tu, masih anggap normal. Dekat rumah nak bagi ikan bilis sebab ada iron. You understand what I'm saying? Benda tu normal.
Tak cukup langsung.
Tak cukup. Come on. Of course you nak makan benda yang tinggi iron is great. But that's not enough. Dia perlukan, do you know they end up with blood transfusion in the hospital?
Really?
Sampai tahap macam tu. Sebab normal. Tak ada apa pun.
Ambil ringan tau.
Yes. Sebab tu I cakap, jangan ambil ringan. Until, you just imagine sekarang keluarga masing-masing kan. Ada seorang mak dekat situ kan. Okay, let's say children are going to school, husband is working, there's a mother there, right? Okay, take her away. The whole family collapse.
Betul. She's
dealing with a lot of things for the family. Setiap bulan dia period pun, you all dah nak kacau.
Betul.
So semua orang sakit. Come lah, you know you still have to work, you still have to do this, you masih ada responsibility. Kalau you tak nak jaga dia dah sampai hemoglobin dah drop sangat sebab period ke apa kan. Sampai masuk hospital, masuk darah. She's going to be weaker and weaker. How she's going to take care of your family? If you can, orang tu atau family tu, the whole community understand women health, we can have better care. Like towards the period, cara pemakanan dah lain. You need more food, iron-rich food. Not to mention your mood swings. Mood swings. It gets worse, bukan get better. Setiap time before period, you already have a lot of mood swings. You feel sad. Tak jadi apa pun, you feel very low mood.
And everyone's around you akan judge you. Like akan cakap macam, biasalah perempuan mood swing ni macam tu.
Oh my God, I hate that word.
Yes.
I hate it.
Benci betul.
Exactly. If you just take that around and put it for the men.
Yes.
There was this one very interesting podcast that I saw.
Okay.
That she's a gynae specialist. So she was trying to give reflection tau. Sebab host tu tak faham.
Okay.
Dia cuba nak explain kat host tu menopause, dia punya estrogen drop tu macam mana, rasa macam mana. Orang tu macam tak nak faham. So dia katakanlah men, suddenly we castrate, take out your testis away. Testosterone you dah drop. You will go berserk. Memory you drop. You cannot do anything in a normal manner anymore. Condition. Your mental health, your strength, your physical strength, then you talk about mood swings. Okay? It sounds very brutal. Oh my God, so brutal. Isn't that exactly what's happening in menopause?
Yeah.
It's exactly what's happening in menopause.
Okay, now I get the clear picture.
Yeah, macam kalau brutally we say like that, dia orang faham, oh my God, kesiannya. He need testosterone replacement. Dia perlukan injection, all these things comes in. Macam medical emergency tau. It's exactly what's happening to every single woman who's going through menopause.
Semua orang going
Semua
through.
orang.
Benda yang sama.
And you don't want to help them. Normal.
I ada baca like macam actually research towards like men baldness lagi banyak daripada
Betul? Betul?
women's health.
Betul. That's what the doctor who was, I wish I can share the podcast. She was showing, berapa banyak research yang ada for women health compared to other things. Men's baldness, sometimes the andropause. Banyak sangat guideline, banyak lagi FDA approved treatments. Kalau kita pusing balik nak tengok berapa banyak yang ada untuk women health, not many. Very sad. Very sad. Especially, every man has one woman at least that they love and they cherish. Can be your mom, can be your daughter, can be your wife, whoever. Ada seorang tu. Takkan you tak kisah. You know? And I don't know how this is going to come out, but you don't have to wait for anybody to take care of you. Especially time macam ni. Okay? Everything is, now, we're talking about it right now. There is, kalau keluar rumah, I'm sure, especially in Malaysia, within 5 kilometers, there's one clinic.
Betul.
Private ke, atau government ke, tak kisah. KK, klinik kesihatan, anything. There are doctors who can help you. All yang kita perlu buat, dapatkan pertolongan. Kalau yang tu pun you tak nak ambil satu step. Sebab yang sakit tu kita yang sakit. Yang susah tu kita yang susah. So kita lah yang kena cari jalan penyelesaian.
Kena being responsible to
You kena buat, don't tell me like, saya tak ada duit lah doktor, I kena harap juga husband nak bawa. Okay, how about KK? We are so lucky in Malaysia. You boleh pergi klinik kesihatan, dapatkan rawatan for free. Or RM1 I think, now you pay. That's it.
Sekarang dah naik RM2.
Come on. It's true. You cannot get this anywhere in the world.
Betul.
Tak ada satu country dekat dunia ni sama macam kita.
Yes,
kita
betul.
sangat bertuah.
Betul.
We are so lucky. And not to say KK not good. We have FMS in KK. Most of my colleagues, when I did my primary care, family medicine, all of them are from KK, klinik kesihatan. Setiap klinik kesihatan dekat Malaysia now, they are aiming to have one FMS, family medicine specialist. Pergi dapatkan pertolongan. Kalau dah perlu rujukan, diorang sendiri akan rujuk. Yang tu free. Or if you can afford, come to private clinic, pergi private hospital mana-mana. Apa kita perlu adalah ambil satu langkah untuk jaga diri sendiri. You don't have to depend. Yeah.
Alright. So doktor, macam doktor ada mentionkan tadi kan about PCOS, PMOS. Okay. Kita dah kena normalize benda.
Yes, let's normalize PMOS.
Dia salah satu simptom dia adalah disebabkan oleh salah satu simptom dia kita gain weight.
Okay? Of course, yes. Yeah.
Ada tak chance untuk for those yang memang ada healthy lifestyle, normal BMI untuk ada masalah macam ni?
Yes. That's why I say benda ni sangat kompleks. Kita tak boleh nak put one diagnosing criteria cakap ini je lah. No. Right? So kebanyakannya yang ada PCOS will have hormonal imbalance kan. Sebab tu memang dia akan ada insulin resistance, berat badan yang lebih tinggi, BMI dia memang tinggi. Okay? Ada yang akan cuba tapi nak turunkan BMI tu memang susah. Some of them can be on the normal BMI tapi higher side. Yeah. Can happen. Tapi nak cakap orang tu kurus sangat, lepas tu dia ada PCOS, jarang lah.
Jarang lah. But
unlikely.
still ada.
Yeah.
Okay. Macam tadi doktor ada mention pasal endometriosis kan. Okay, apa itu endometriosis? Sebenarnya I macam baru-baru dengar jugalah pasal endometriosis ni. Adakah dia satu penyakit yang baru? Ataupun dia dah lama dah?
Dah lama sangat.
Tapi macam kita kurang awareness.
Yes, maybe ramai yang tak pernah dengar the diagnosis of endometriosis. Endometriosis, macam saya cakap kan, endometrial tissue yang sepatutnya dalam lapisan rahim kan, dekat dalam lapisan dalam rahim tu. Okay, now dia punya tissue tu dia boleh kat mana-mana je. Dekat usus pun boleh, dekat ovary pun boleh, ada mana-mana je lah dekat badan kan. Okay, now when the period comes, endometrial tissue tu akan breakdown, ada pendarahan. Kalau dekat rahim, pendarahan tu keluar. Kalau dekat abdomen, dalam, dekat usus, dia tak keluar tau. Dia akan berdarah juga. Kalau dekat lungs, berdarah juga. Bahaya sangat kalau tempat lain tau. Okay, so pendarahan tu akan stop right after about 7 days, dia stop. So dia akan lekat. Okay, and that's why the next round tu akan lagi sakit.
Dia akan lagi banyak.
Betul, darah lekat macam akan katakan dekat usus lekat.
It's like a virus lah. Macam okay, virus tu macam spread ke tempat lain.
Yes. That's why I say the women go through so much. You can't limit to say benda tu pelvic pain sahaja. No, it can. If you see a person with endometriosis, you'll understand. If you ask them the kind of pain they have, they orang dah ada anxiety 1 week before the period. Sebab dah tahu nak apa yang akan jadi.
So dia macam PCOS, PMOS juga.
Betul.
Like kacau you punya hormonal and everything.
Yes.
You punya, okay.
That's why I say the body screams for help. You know, it's not silent. It bukan macam jenis penyakit yang senyap. Kita kena cari simptom. No, your body is screaming for help. You need to get the help.
Yang kita rasa benda tu normal, sebenarnya tak normal pun.
Sungguh tak normal. I just hope the mothers now will not tell the children, sakit je, it's okay, tahan sikit. I hope they don't say it anymore. Yeah.
Alright, okay. So, macam mana dari segi rawatan dia pula? Okay, apa yang macam orang-orang yang mengalami contoh lah, dia dah alami masalah period pain ni dah lama and dia luar daripada normal lah. Okay, so apa dia punya step? Like, rawatan ni macam mana? Apa yang doktor akan bagi?
Okay, first is diagnosis lah. Kita nak detect apa masalah dia. Fibroid ke, PCOS ke, atau dia endometriosis ke, apa yang menyebabkan sakit ni. Okay, once we know and we have all the details, kalau perlu kita akan refer dia kepada gynae. Kalau jenis yang boleh makan ubat, kita bagi ubat untuk aturkan period lah kalau period tu tak teratur. Atau endometriosis, memang dah teruk, lekat, sakit, you have to refer to a gynae. They might have to do MRI untuk tengok berapa teruk lah dia punya
MRI
tissue
is the
tu.
best lah untuk find out.
Yes, untuk see how bad is it. Then if perlu, dia orang akan buat laparoscopic surgery untuk keluarkan tisu-tisu, adhesion, wash. Semua ni penting. Jangan terlepas sampai dah teruk sangat, nak tolong pun tak tahu nak tolong macam mana. Okay, so the treatment depends on what is your diagnosis, berapa teruk. So biasanya primary care, once we identify apa masalah, kita akan rujuk kepada pakar yang tertentu. Like that.
Jadi kedua-dua penyakit ni consider as penyakit lah.
Of course. Okay. Yes.
Alright. So kedua-dua penyakit ni, adakah once kita dapatkan rawatan, dia boleh pulih sepenuhnya ataupun tidak?
Tak. It's a lifelong thing. Tapi boleh adjustment. Okay. Maksudnya dengan rawatan yang betul, they will feel normal. Okay, so PCOS ke, endometriosis ke, kita start rawatan, we can do, depends on the stage and all that. There are very good success rate. Sakit tu akan kurang, pendarahan tu kurang, infertility problem takkan ada, dia orang boleh hamil, all these things can happen for you. Asalkan ada rawatan. Jangan takut rawatan, that's all I want to know. I want everyone to understand. Kalau seseorang doktor tu memang doktor yang bertauliah dan dia yang pilih rawatan, dia yang nak buat rawatan, ada doktor yang rujuk, ada doktor yang terima. We have a nice system. You will come out fine. You don't have to worry. Kebanyakannya takut sangat. Lepas tu dah sangkut pada tempat yang macam sakit, tahan, tak apa, tak nak ambil ubat sebab ubat tu ada side effect. Itulah fikirannya.
Dia tak sedar apa yang dia going through sekarang lagi teruk side effect dia.
Exactly. It gets worse. And I have so many patients. Diorang dah tak nak ambil ubat, tak nak buat scan, semua tu tak nak. Lepas tu dah kahwin. Cuba untuk dapatkan anak. Tak boleh nak hamil. The infertility becomes a big issue now. Then they come and look for help. Then kita refer. It's even worse to treat now. Dah susah. So why not early?
So there's still a chance lah.
Definitely.
Untuk you get pregnant and everything. Even though you're going through.
Betul. Ramai je yang ada PCOS, PMOS kan, endometriosis, dah dapatkan rawatan, dah berjaya, leading a normal life, dah tak sakit, dah tak ada pendarahan yang teruk sangat, kahwin, ada anak, normal life. You can have it. The choice is with you. Just dapatkan rawatan. Pergi jumpa dengan seorang doktor. Don't be so scared. Do your own research. Cuba baca sikit apa jenis penyakit tu, apa rawatan yang wujud. Cuba connect dengan orang lain yang ada penyakit yang sama, yang dah dapatkan rawatan. Connect so you understand. Ada je community sekarang. Macam-macam dah community. You just need to find the right people. Yeah.
Alright, okay. So macam Dr. cakap lah, dapatkan rawatan daripada awal. Okay. So selain daripada dapatkan rawatan, ada tak inisiatif yang kita sendiri boleh buat daripada rumah, like macam lifestyle yang macam mana, pemakanan yang macam mana, in order untuk bantu kita, like for example, like the first one prevent, yang kedua untuk bagi dia tak going worse lah. Lifestyle yang macam mana yang doktor like advice?
Okay. Firstly, PCOS, PMOS atau endometriosis ni bukan sebab cara makan dia tak betul, sebab tu dia kena. Bukan.
Okay.
Bukan sebab dia dah buat benda tu, dia termakan ni, sebab tu dia kena. Nothing to do with food, nothing to do with your lifestyle. Disease tu. Disease tu sekali maybe genetic, sometimes sporadic, tapi orang tu dah ada disease tu. Okay. So kalau dah ada penyakit, seseorang tu perlukan rawatan. Selain rawatan, if you want to talk about lifestyle, so yang saya takut ni, kalau saya cakap lifestyle ni, diorang okay lah saya buat lifestyle je, rawatan saya tak nak. No. Rawatan tu memang tak boleh discount. Perlu. Mesti kena ada. Okay. On top of that, try to eat healthy. Okay. Cuba kurangkan makanan yang manis. Okay. Cuba kurangkan makanan yang fast food. Yang ni jenis makanan yang boleh radangkan. So katakan dia ada masalah whatever lah, PCOS ke, endometriosis ke, dia akan lebih like radangkan badan, dan disease tu, penyakit tu akan lebih teruk. So kalau pemakanan dia tinggi antioksidan, natural whole food, lebih anti radang lah. Okay. So walaupun dia ada endometriosis, keradangan tu boleh kontrol sikit. That's what I'm trying to say. Another thing is workout. Okay. Especially yang kalau kita nak cakap mengenai menopausal age, perimenopausal age, you need to work out. Must. Sebab kita nak maintain bone density. Kita nak pastikan tulang tu strong. You need muscle mass. Okay. If you ask me, a 15-year-old want to work out, tak nak work out, still okay. A perimenopausal woman, you have to work out. Kalau tak, you will lose your bone density. Memang kekuatan tulang tu akan semakin merosot. So you have to do resistance training. You need to do some weights. For if you ask more, maybe now later, if you see banyak yang workout kan. Tapi kalau kita patah balik generasi mak kita semua nak suruh workout, tiba-tiba nak bagi dumbbell, dia tak pernah sentuh dumbbell tu. You know, betul. I think I was the first one to buy the dumbbell and give it to my mom. You know, she was like, my father said, wow, she's doing dumbbell now. You know, she said she needs to, she have to. Kalau kita nak bone yang sihat, kita kena buat benda tu. We cannot let that go. Yeah, so start slow. Bukan nak suruh 30 kilos terus. Start slow, 4 kilos ke, 5 kilos ke. You know, start her. Sebab kalau sesuatu jadi dekat orang yang tersayang kita, mak ke, your wife ke, siapa yang sedih? Betul. You know, we need to help each other. You know, so let them have high calcium food, high protein food, teach them resistance training. Benda tu tak dulu nak resistance training ke apa kan, tak pernah dengar pun istilah tu. Kena pergi gym, cari coach. Sekarang buka TikTok, dah ada tak?
Betul. Yeah.
YouTube dah ada berapa banyak, dah ada. So now it's your own initiative. That's all.
Even dumbbell pun sekarang dah murah dah.
Itu je.
Dulu beratus, sekarang you RM20 dah boleh dapat.
Dah boleh dapat. Exactly. Orang hantar sampai depan rumah.
Kalau tak ada dumbbell, boleh guna ni lah, botol air yang isi air.
Do anything. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Alright, okay. Wow. That's a lot. I rasa macam tak cukup lah kita masa untuk kita bincang pasal topik
women's
ni,
health.
Women's health.
It's a huge topic.
Huge topic, betul. Maybe next episode kita boleh buat pasal berkenaan like premenopause, menopause, okay? What they can do, guideline untuk orang lah. Okay? Alright. So thank you so much, Doktor.
Most welcome.
Okay?
Most
untuk
welcome.
topik yang hari ni, I think like very important, sangat-sangat penting. Okay? Kalau tak ada guideline macam ni, awareness macam ni, orang takkan tahu.
Orang takkan tahu.
Takkan tahu dan buat tak tahu.
Yes, they downplay.
Yeah, you betul.
Yes, yeah.
Alright, okay. So, thank you everyone. So, kalau you guys ada any questions regarding to our topic ataupun you have any suggestion, okay, untuk kita bring out our topic, so you can comment dekat bawah, alright? Okay, so thank you. Bye-bye. Kita jumpa lagi.